Ladies and gentlemen, just as we all expected, Jason Moore, the phenomenal defensive lineman, commits to Ohio State. It happened last night at around 7 o'clock, and the Buckeyes have actually retaken the spot for the number one team in the nation in the class of 2023 recruiting. You can take a look, 18 commits. The most important data point to this is the average, 93.67, very good average. 2 5-stars, both the receivers. You've got 14 4-stars and 2 3-stars, and a total score of 281.58, just ahead of Notre Dame, and Notre Dame actually has one more commit than Ohio State, so there's a bit of a battle there. Also, Clemson recruiting really well, but guys, I wanted to talk about the future for Ohio State in July. Where do I see them finishing in terms of the 2023 class? How many guys do they take? We're going to discuss all of that. But I think the number one thing I'll say when it comes to where I think the Buckeyes are going to finish for the 2023 recruiting class, this next week or 2 weeks, I don't know when, is so key. And it's not about somebody committing. It's not about an announcement. It's about the 247 Midsummer Update that we expect to happen either this week or next week that should catapult Ohio State to an average score. In my opinion, I think it'll be above 94. We don't have to add any more commits. Once 247 Sports updates, guys, if you don't know, 247 Sports has 2 Ohio State cornerbacks, Kyan Lee, Dijon Johnson, ranked disrespectfully low, and I think they're going to fix it. Both of those guys are around top 100 prospects. 247 Sports has them outside of the top 200. Jermaine Matthews, do we finally see his bump up a little bit? And then maybe someone like Miles Walker, although I don't know. There's been talk about moving him to a lower 4-star. We will see if that happens. I don't really think any Ohio State commits are going to get crushed in the rankings. There's going to be guys that move down, but as long as Kyan Lee gets like a 100-spot bump, Dijon Johnson gets like a 100-spot bump, it's going to more than, make up for it, and Ohio State's overall average will move up. So I think when we're assessing where this Ohio State class will finish, because it's going to be tough to beat Alabama, I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Personally, it's just the state of Alabama is so loaded. I don't know if the state of Alabama is actually loaded or if it's just really overrated. Like, people were making a huge deal about Alabama losing Peter Woods. It really doesn't matter. The state of Alabama has like 10 top 100 players. Imagine Ohio having 10 top 100 players. It's ridiculous. But I think Bama finishes above Ohio State. Georgia, it'll be really close. Georgia's been recruiting well. Clemson, I don't see it. Clemson normally doesn't take a ton of prospects, and they've kind of landed all of the targets they were expected to get. But again, Clemson's recruiting really well. The demise of Clemson has been greatly exaggerated. Tennessee's not finishing above Ohio State. Penn State's not. Georgia might. So I think Alabama finishes ahead. Georgia, it's going to be close. It depends on the rankings updates. Ohio State landing Caleb Downs, obviously players like that. That's the most important recruit for Ohio State going forward. Arkansas certainly isn't. LSU's not finishing above Ohio State. Miami's not, although they're paying everyone. Oklahoma's had a nice few weeks. They're landing a few elite players, but they're not finishing above Ohio State. Baylor, no chance. Cincinnati, no chance. So USC, I would say no, but they are going to get probably a 5-star tight end, Deuce Robinson. Oregon, no. So I think mainly we'll see what happens with A&M. A&M at some point is going to go on a crazy commitment run. We all know it. Right now, I don't know if they have like 6 or 7 commits total. I don't even know where their class is ranked. Let me see if I can find it. So Michigan's at 45 right now. So A&M's not even in the top 50. I would say Ohio State at worst, as long as they land a few more of their top targets in July. You're looking at a 4th place finish. I'm going to say as high as number 2. And kind of the big question right now, does Ohio State finish ahead of Notre Dame? Most certainly they will. And by the way, guys, Notre Dame still has a number of good prospects they're going to get. Like, Notre Dame, I can't say, they're recruiting so well after Brian Kelly leaves under Marcus Freeman, but they're not finishing above Ohio State. And this is a really good tweet I saw talking about where Ohio State's current class is at and some of the guys. So Tackett Curtis, there's been some rumors about him potentially going to Wisconsin. I think that's all smoke. He's a Buckeye by the end of July, and he's been a guy that's kind of moved down. If you guys have been paying attention, the overall rankings, he was like a top 60 player. Now he's barely in the top 100. We hope that trend doesn't continue. John Walker, extremely important, one tech defensive tackle. He's announcing on July 28th. You got to be careful with the NIL with him from Florida. If you're only battling UCF, Ohio State's going to get him. The issue is Florida's going to try and pay him. We know they're weaponizing NIL. Then you've got Desmond Umezulu, who's an interesting pass rusher, kind of a top 150 hybrid. We'll see if he can put on more weight, but things look great for potentially landing him soon. I would expect by the end of July. And then Arvil Reese, it can really be any time with him coming to Ohio State. I'm actually a little bit surprised he's not already committed. And then Caleb Downs, most important recruit, guys. I'm on record. Ohio State, they've done such a great job by the end of July. Caleb Downs. This is Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, and then Notre Dame. They're not really in it, but it's going to be Ohio State. They need him. Ooh. Next, we've got Sampson, the offensive tackle. Not going to happen. Ohio State struggles with offensive tackle recruiting. This is a very interesting recruit. Mateo Uilangile. I don't know why, but he's always struck me as someone that's had no real chance of going to Ohio State for whatever reason. It just seems like he likes music. He wants to stay out in California. I know him and his dad have been flirting with Ohio State. It would be such an amazing get. But, I personally, I don't see that one. Maybe they can pull a shocker. Who knows? I mean, his brother did go to Clemson, so they're fine with leaving the state of California, I guess. Damon Wilson, it was disappointing. We were supposed to get Damon in for an Ohio State visit, see him visit, I think the last weekend of June, and he didn't show up. And it was kind of a rumored top two of Ohio State and Alabama. But I don't know where his current recruitment is. Maybe they can get him back for an official during the season. And then the other guy I wanted to talk about, the tight end Thurman. It's very interesting with Ohio State possibly taking two tight ends. They've already got Lockwood. And apparently Thurman is announcing July 17th. And the rumored top two is Ohio State and Michigan State. And I just want to tell people, I mean, Michigan State is blatantly cheating on the recruiting trail. They're weaponizing NIL. I'm not, saying it's bad or whatever. I'm just telling you what's going on. So they will be offering him some sort of NIL deal, I'm sure. It's not sour grapes. If Michigan State lands him, that's fine. School's got to do what they got to do. It's nothing against them, but I'm just telling you what's going on with his recruitment and what very likely will be happening. But overall, guys, Caleb Downs is so important. If you land Caleb Downs, I think you're guaranteed a top 3 class. You've positioned yourself so good. You've got 18 commits. You've got an average rating of about 93.5, and that's very likely going to only go up once we get this update, which we're hoping is maybe this week or next week. They said the middle of July, so we'll have to see when they update, and it's going to be a massive update. There's probably going to be a lot of changes, and we're hoping. And then the other thing, I don't know what they're going to do with the quarterback situation if they don't get Novosad or Brock Glenn. They're going to get someone. I would say they're going to get a 4-star, but we'll see what happens. I hope they get Novosad because he is due for a massive bump. He performed very well at the Elite 11. He was like the 5th or 6th best quarterback, I think. And then Brock Glenn is kind of a lower-end 4-star. That's kind of their fallback plan if they don't get Novosad. But guys, I would say at this point, you're going to be behind Alabama. You're going to be fighting with Georgia for number 2. A&M... they're going to get a bunch of guys. A&M's going to finish top 5. I'm just going to tell you. But I don't think this year A&M will finish above Ohio State. I think it'll be Alabama 1, Ohio State and Georgia, somewhere 2, 3. And then teams like maybe A&M or maybe even Notre Dame, because Notre Dame still is going to land more elite targets. Like the class they're putting, it's not like Notre Dame blew their whole load this month. Like they still have like 3 or 4 more top 200 guys they're going to get, or they're rumored to be favorites for. So they're going to be a top 5, top 6 class minimum. Well, I wouldn't say minimum, because maybe an SEC team could come in and do something. But Notre Dame, it's going to be Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Notre Dame, A&M. And then also you're going to get your LSUs, you're going to get your Miamis, you're going to get your Oregons, the teams that are really weaponizing NIL. But guys, I just wanted to give a quick update. Ohio State currently by 1 point. And I would say that's going to expand when we get the next ratings update. I think we'll, if no other commits happen, Ohio State will actually expand that league, because I'm expecting major bumps for the Buckeyes, at least for the cornerbacks. But we'll see with the other positions, maybe Jermaine Matthews. Although I heard On3 was going to bump Jermaine Matthews. I didn't hear anything about 247 bumping him. Other than that, any other guys, maybe Miles Walker would be another one. And then I really don't see anyone falling down the board too much. When it comes to Ohio State commits, there's going to be guys that drop, but it's not going to be like 50 spots, or at least I don't think. Again, this is just speculation. Maybe they'll nuke someone's rating. That'll be something to wake up to. But guys, either way, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.